Divine Deliverance. 7 Miraculous Lessons for Heavenly Emotional Detachment revealed through F.A. Lydia knelt in the vibrant glow of her village church, where the scent of aged wood mingled with flickering candlelight. The walls echoed with the harmony of hopeful hymns, each note crackling with divine presence. It was here that she sought solace, and her heart pulsed with the fervent belief that anything was possible. Each candle she lit became a prayer, delicate wisps of smoke spiraling upward like her hopes for Alex. As she closed her eyes, whispers of divine deliverance filled her with conviction. Alex, once so full of life, now wandered through shadowy valleys marred by addiction. The news swept across the village like a storm, uniting the community in love and concern. Lydia felt their collective heartbreak. Yet amidst it all, she sensed the sacred strength rising like an indomitable fortress. Prayers ignited, voices entwined, and the air thickened with faith as lights twinkled like stars above. It was as if God himself was leaning down, ready to intervene. In the weeks that followed, every prayer meeting ignited the glimmer of hope. On one fateful night, as the sanctuary glowed with candles, an elder strode forward, eyes gleaming with the weight of revelation. God has spoken, they proclaimed. Deliverance is upon you. The congregation erupted in murmurs, hearts bouncing between joy and skepticism. Lydia clutched her rosary, torn between faith and the bitter taste of reality. Was this proclamation the beacon she longed for? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days turned into weeks, yet Alex remained ensnared in his dark world, and scripture felt distant. The church tried everything, but the walls bore witness to frustration. Each attempt at healing and every prayer seemed to hit a wall. But in a divine twist of fate, Alex finally accepted Lydia's invitation to a healing service. The moment he walked through the doors, the atmosphere crackled with expectancy. Their small church, a sanctuary, became alive with energy, spirits rising, hearts pounding as the pastor anointed him. Radiant light flooded the space. The crowd gasped as a palpable wave of peace cascaded over them, charging the air with divine presence. Then it happened. Lydia felt it in the depths of her soul, the transformation. Alex's face glowed, joy bubbling from his very core. Gasps turned to cheers as their community collectively exhaled. Tears of astonishment streamed down Lydia's cheeks, her heart soaring with heavenly joy and renewed faith. Yet, amidst the jubilation, a haunting question lingered: was this truly the end of their struggles or merely the beginning of an even greater journey? The shadows of doubt intertwined with the light of hope, leaving her anxiously anticipating what God had in store next. The community buzzed with excitement, yet Lydia felt herself teetering on the edge of something profound, a life-changing chapter unfolding before her. Lydia awoke the next morning with a heart still full of joy. The sun poured itself over the landscape, casting a golden hue across the village. Each ray seemed to whisper promises of hope and new beginnings. She could still feel the warmth of that miraculous night, the sound of laughter echoing in her soul, and the faces of their community glowing with shared relief. Yet doubt crept in unwelcome. Was Alex really free? Would this newfound joy hold steadfast against the storms of life? Lydia, determined to protect the fragile light within her, set out to seek answers. She spent her morning in prayer, pouring her soul into the vibrant air, asking God for clarity and strength. "What next, Lord?" she implored, knowing deep down that the journey of faith often required more than just redemption. As she left the church, she noticed familiar faces in the village. People greeted her with warm smiles, their spirits significantly lifted since Alex's transformation. Lydia felt a surge of unity in their shared hope. Conversations ignited as community members united over tales of miraculous recoveries and shared their own struggles. It was during one of these bustling encounters that Lydia heard an elderly woman speak of a time when she had lost everything, yet was given an unexpected blessing. "Faith doesn't always mean we get what we want right away," the woman said, her voice filled with wisdom. "Sometimes it means holding on even when the darkness lingers." Those words pierced through the veil of Lydia's anxiety, settling deep in her heart. In the coming weeks, as Alex began to embrace his recovery, Lydia watched him wrestle with demons of the past. It wasn't an easy path. Each moment of frustration showcased the quiet battles they had yet to fight. Lydia stood beside him, her faith occasionally flickering, but she clung to the belief that God was working through them, knitting their lives back together like a tapestry. One evening, after Alex returned from support group, he sat down next to Lydia, a worried expression clouding his features. "What if I can't do this?" he confessed. "What if I fall back? I keep hearing those voices. They whisper, taunting me." Lydia's heart sank, but she held on to the resolve that God had ignited in her soul. "There is a power in our struggles, love," she reassured him, taking his hand. "Each shadow you face reveals God's light in you. And when you fight, we fight together. We are not meant to face our battles alone." He looked into her eyes, searching for strength. In that moment, Lydia felt an overwhelming wave of assurance wash over her. Could they truly find peace amidst the tumult? Inspired, Alex joined Lydia in prayer, their voices intertwining, each word creating a sacred bond between them and their Creator. The air hummed with energy, their spirits ignited by the act of surrendering their fears to God. Days turned into months, trials continued, and victories were quietly celebrated. The deeper they delved into their relationship with God, the more they unearthed their strengths. Yet as the community's hope built, so did the challenges. New revelations and struggles whispered in hushed tones, leaving a lingering question. Were they ready for the next wave of challenges? As Lydia sat in the candlelit corner of the church once more, she felt a shift in the air, a divine energy poised for revelation. In anticipation, she clasped her rosary, whispering softly, "Heavenly Father, guide us and prepare us for what comes next." Amidst this atmosphere of expectation, the congregation began to murmur once more. What they sensed was more than just flickers of hope. It was the heralding of something greater. The moment of divine intervention was approaching, but what would it bring? Lydia felt her heart quicken as the murmurs around her grew louder. The faithful gathered, their anticipation palpable, while the flickering candlelight seemed to dance with divine expectation. The atmosphere was rich with potential, a promise that something profound was on the horizon. She took a deep breath, grounding herself as she focused on the vibrations of shared faith circulating among the congregation. As the pastor stepped to the front, his face exuded a calm authority. "Brothers and sisters," he began, voice steady and warm, "today we come together not just to seek understanding, but to embrace transformation. For every mountain we face, God has laid pathways of grace and strength." Each word resonated with Lydia's spirit, echoing truths she had come to know. She glanced at Alex, sitting beside her. His eyes were closed and his brow was furrowed in thought, capturing the weight of their shared journey. A beacon of hope flickered within him, even in his uncertainty. Lydia squeezed his hand gently, silently encouraging him to engage with the moment. The pastor continued, "In our struggles we find lessons that shape our souls. It's here, in the crucibles of hardship, that we learn to detach from what binds us, allowing God's love to fill those empty spaces." Each lesson unfolded like a blossoming flower, tender and vibrant. Lydia focused on every word, feeling them penetrate her heart like raindrops nourishing thirsty soil. One by one, the pastor shared 7 miraculous lessons of emotional detachment, each designed to reframe the way they perceive their struggles. First, he declared, "Let go of fear. When we surrender our anxieties to God, freedom blossoms." Lydia felt that deep within. How many moments had she allowed doubt to rob her of peace? Second, choose forgiveness, he continued. Resentment chains us to the past, but forgiveness anchors us in the present. Alex shifted beside her. He was grappling with the weight of his past mistakes. The pastor moved on, outlining each lesson as if orchestrating a symphony. Third, embrace vulnerability. Show your wounds and allow God to heal them. Fourth, seek beauty in simplicity. Everyday miracles surround us, waiting to remind us of His greatness. By the time the pastor reached the 5th lesson, walk in humility, for in humility we find strength, Lydia felt transcendent. She understood that every challenge was a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Each lesson felt like a personal message, woven from threads of her life. As the pastor moved to the last 2 lessons, Lydia noticed a glimmer of hope igniting in Alex. 6th, build community. There is strength in numbers. Together we conquer. Finally, he delivered the 7th lesson. Steadfast faith. Trust in his timing. What appears like a silence is often God's preparation for his mighty work. Lydia's heart soared. In that sacred moment, she realized their journey was like a river, sometimes calm, sometimes tumultuous, but always flowing toward a greater purpose. She sensed Alex's breathing steady beside her, the weight on his shoulders lifting just slightly. The congregation erupted in applause, cheers of gratitude filling the sanctuary. Lydia felt her eyes welling with tears, not of sorrow, but of sheer joy. This was divine synchronicity. As the pastor enveloped everyone in prayer, Lydia closed her eyes and bowed her head, lost in gratitude for every lesson, every struggle, every small victory that led them here. But as the final amen echoed, and the congregation began to disperse, an unsettling itch ran through her spirit. What would test their faith next? Could they truly handle the complexities that lie ahead? The flickering candles dimmed, shadows stretching across the chapel. Lydia and Alex exchanged guarded glances filled with unspoken fears. What storm awaited them just beyond this moment of peace? With anticipation brimming within her, Lydia whispered softly, "Lord, prepare us for what's next, and reveal your divine plan." The church door creaked open, a chill greeting them as they stepped outside. Were they ready to unravel the mysteries that awaited them? The world outside seemed different now, heavy with uncharted possibilities. The chill air wrapped around Lydia and Alex as they stepped outside, pulling them back into the reality of the world. The evening sky, slashed with streaks of twilight orange and deepening indigo, felt a bit oppressive. Lydia looked at Alex, whose expression mirrored her concerns. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice almost lost in the evening breeze. "Yeah, just thinking," Alex replied quietly. They began to walk down the stone path leading away from the church, the comfort of the sacred space receding with each step. But something stirred within Lydia. The lessons learned coursed through her mind like a river of grace, urging her forward. Yet there was a gnawing question that hung in the air. Each revelation from the pastor echoed, vibrating with urgency. How could they apply these lessons in a world that often seemed overtaken by chaos and despair? As the streetlights flickered on, their soft glow illuminated the faces of passers-by, unaware of the journey Lydia and Alex faced. It was in the eyes of the people, shadows whispered. So many souls carrying burdens similar to theirs. "Do you think we'll be ready for whatever comes next?" Alex asked, his voice laced with a blend of hope and uncertainty. "I believe we will," Lydia responded, her heart swelling with quiet confidence. "We've already faced so much together. Remember how you tackled your fears during the prayer meeting last month? That's strength. But this feels different," Alex said, stopping to lean against a nearby lamppost. "What if we can't face it? What if I fail again?" In that moment, Lydia felt the weight of his inner turmoil. She reached out, placing her hand over his. "We're not meant to carry these burdens alone. God promises us strength through community. That's why we're here, to help one another." He took a deep breath, rehearsing the 7th lesson, a reminder of steadfast faith. "I trust that, but sometimes it's hard to see the road ahead," he admitted. "I know. But what if we choose to embrace every uncertainty as an opportunity?" Lydia proposed, her voice steady now. "What if we treat each moment like a stepping stone towards deeper faith?" With a spark of admiration, Alex's eyes met hers. "You've got some wisdom in you," he grinned, a newfound light flickering in his expression. They continued walking, the air thick with possibilities. A light breeze swayed the branches above them, whispering secrets of the night. There was a resilience in the atmosphere, as if the universe itself was preparing for something extraordinary. As they walked, recent memories flooded back, moments filled with laughter, tears, and grace. They had each learned to forgive, to be vulnerable, and to recognize beauty even in struggles. Yet somehow this felt like a new chapter waiting to unfold. Suddenly, a voice broke through the stillness, causing them to pause. "Excuse me." A woman approached, her eyes searching. "Have you seen a little boy? He's been missing since this afternoon." Lydia's heart raced. Here was a call to action, a divine moment presented. They barely knew this woman, and yet her pain felt familiar. Without a word, she and Alex exchanged glances, each sensing the electric urgency in the air. The lessons learned earlier bubbled within them, demanding to be put into practice. They couldn't ignore the commitment to build community, to rise together in the face of struggle. Let us help her, Lydia said, conviction lighting her eyes. Yes, we have to, Alex replied, determination swelling within him. And as they turned to follow her down the street, a swirl of courage propelled their hearts. What awaited them felt like a turning point, an opportunity to live out their faith, but also the beginning of unknown trials. With the night unfolding before them, both Lydia and Alex sensed the profound truth. Sometimes, the call to faith invites you into difficult waters, but these are the moments where miraculous bonds are forged and where divine deliverance often begins. What awaited them in pursuit of the missing boy? Only time would reveal the layers of purpose hidden in this night. The shadows lengthened as Lydia and Alex quickened their pace beside the distressed woman. The city streets, once relaxing under the warm embrace of community, now felt taut with the tension of a missing child. Lydia could feel her heart pounding in rhythm with each footstep. An urgency swept through her, igniting an inner fire. "Stay close," the woman said, her voice trembling. She darted left and right, eyes scanning the pavement as if it held the answers. The night felt heavy, yet the flickering streetlights seemed to glow with a gentle hope. Each illumination was a reminder that even in darkness, light exists. "What's his name?" Alex asked, matching the woman's stride. "Eli," she replied breathlessly. "He loves the park." "I thought he was safe there," her voice broke, and it stung Lydia's heart. This mother's fear was a palpable weight, another burden they felt called to shoulder, even if just for this fleeting moment. "Let's south head to the park," Lydia suggested. "Maybe he's just playing." The path twisted ahead of them, every turn deeper into the unknown, yet Lydia clung to a quiet belief. They were not wandering aimlessly, they were on a mission steeped in purpose. It was a call to reflect their faith through action, to not merely hear the lesson but live as they approached the park. A knot of anxiety twisted in Lydia's stomach. Dark trees loomed above, casting eerie forms against the muted moonlight. She whispered a quick prayer under her breath, asking for courage and guidance. In this vulnerable moment, she sensed a growing unity among them. It was as if hearts were linking together, bound by shared hope and determination. "Eli!" the woman cried out, her voice breaking the silence. The sound echoed through the stillness, merging with the soft rustle of leaves. "Let us split up," Alex suggested, his eyes alight with focus. "We'll cover more ground." Lydia nodded, though worry clung to her thoughts. Faith had equipped her with courage, yet fear for Eli's safety twisted within her. She took a deep breath. She had to channel her worry into action, into strength. "I'll check the swings," she said, her voice steady. The mother, though frantic, agreed, appreciating every bit of assistance. As Lydia moved towards the playground, a memory flickered in her mind, the pastor's words about divine intervention and the unseen connections that bind souls together. She grasped onto that thought, seeking solace in the mission at hand. Every child lost felt like an echo of their own struggles. Every absence stirred within them a shared call to compassion. Alex ventured toward the slides, his voice joining the mother's cries, a chorus of names ringing against the darkness. They were making noise together, creating a space for Eli to return to them. Moments stretched, filled with silent prayers and muted hopes, until a figure caught Lydia's eye. Little hands just visible beyond the shelter of a large tree, grasping at the bark as if unsure of where to go. Her heart leapt. "Eli!" she called, rushing towards the boy. 11th hour prayers danced on her lips, weaving hopes into a tapestry of urgency. He looked up, startled. "I got lost." His voice wobbled, innocent and small. Relief washed over Lydia like a cleansing rain. But as she scooped him up, clutching him tight, she glanced back toward the mother. She remained in the shadows, fraught with worry. "Let us bring him back." Lydia half panted, her energy renewed by purpose. They rushed back, all barriers of fear stripped away, leaving behind only raw love and connection. The reunion was dramatic, overflowing with tears and laughter. But amid the joy, a divine whisper echoed in Lydia's heart. They weren't mere participants in a rescue, they were divinely commissioned to reflect the very heart of God in a troubled world. With night drawing to a close, another layer of faith had been illuminated for both Lydia and Alex. And as they stood together under the burgeoning dawn of new possibilities, they sensed this was merely the beginning. What other lessons awaited them in their journey? What challenges would deepen their Understanding of faith? Only time would unravel the tapestry of God's plans. As dawn broke, washing the park in hues of soft gold, Lydia felt a warmth spreading across her heart. A child found, a mother reunited, hope had triumphed over despair. Yet, as the morning sun illuminated their surroundings, Lydia sensed an unseen presence, stirring just beyond the veil of her understanding. It was as if the air buzzed with potential, a promise of something greater weaving through the fabric of this new day. "Mommy!" Eli squealed, wrapping his little arms tightly around his mother, who sank to her knees, weeping with relief. The joyful reunion felt like an orchestra of emotions, an overwhelming symphony of gratitude, love, and faith. Lydia and Alex stood a few paces back, watching the divine reunion unfold. The woman looked up at them through tear-stained cheeks, her gratitude palpable. Thank you so much," she whispered, as her breath caught in her throat. Alex nodded, his usual calm demeanor now infused with awe. "It was teamwork, really. We just followed our hearts." Lydia smiled. How simple yet profound the truth sounded. God's love flowed through each one of them, asking only for their willingness to act. She felt a nudge in her spirit, a gentle call urging her to reflect. What else might they have learned in this unexpected moment? They had been instruments of God's mercy, but what deeper meaning lay hidden beneath the surface? As they began to walk away from the joyful family, Lydia turned back to them, noticing the way Eli clung to his mother, a small beacon of unwavering trust. That image twinkled in her mind like the first light of dawn. She felt the stirring of a profound spirit within her, and she knew they were to learn more. "Let us sit for a moment," she suggested to Alex, pointing towards a nearby bench. Once settled, the three took in the morning sounds, the chirping of birds, the rustling trees whispering secrets of the previous night. It was as though the universe held its breath, waiting for the next twist in their unfolding tale. "You know," Alex said, breaking the serenity of silence, "sometimes we think we're just soldiers fighting this battle on our own. But today it felt like we were part of something bigger, didn't it?" Lydia nodded in agreement. She had always believed in the power of community, but today felt like a tangible manifestation of that belief. The world spun in cycles of joy and sorrow, and here they had touched that cycle at a critical moment. It sparked something profound within them, an awakening. A soft breeze swept through the park, carrying with it the scent of blooming flowers, and Lydia closed her eyes. What if every small act of kindness we do echoes throughout the universe?" she murmured, opening herself to the deeper meanings. "What do you mean?" Alex asked, turning toward her. "This encounter," she said, feeling emboldened, "it wasn't just about Eli. It revealed a greater truth about our purpose as believers. A simple call to action could lead to miraculous outcomes. Do we grasp the magnitude of that?" Just then, their glance intersected a small group of parents gathering nearby. They spoke with hushed voices, eyes wide. She could sense their concern. A rush of adrenaline coursed through Lydia. If today had taught her anything, it was that faith and action walked hand in hand. "What's next?" Alex asked, glancing over before Lydia could answer. A sudden shout sliced through the morning air, a child's frightened wail that echoed in her heart. "Help! I can't find him!" The energy shifted. A collective gasp from the parents pierced the sanctuary of the park. Lydia's heart raced once more. Here was another moment, another opportunity to step into divine purpose. She felt the weight of their mission pressed upon her. "Let us go," she whispered urgently to Alex. The thrill of impending action pulsed through her. Most importantly, she remembered that faith was not just about believing. It was also about doing. As they rounded a corner, the call of their hearts rang louder than fear. "God's plan is unfolding," Lydia prayed, her voice born of newfound urgency. What divine lessons awaited them this time? The child's frantic cries propelled them forward into the unknown, where another layer of faith would soon be revealed. Would the answers come from unexpected places, leading to even deeper revelations? Only the next moment would show what God had in store for them. Lydia and Alex sprinted towards the sound of the frightened wail, weaving through clusters of startled parents, each step fueled by urgency. Their hearts raced not just from exertion, but from the rising expectation of what awaited them. She whispered a prayer, her soul leaning into the comfort of God's embrace. "Stay close," she called over her shoulder, urging Alex onward. As they approached the source of the cries, They entered a small clearing where the gathered crowd pulsed with concern. Lydia's eyes darted around, searching for the child whose name had echoed in her heart. Amidst the anxious adults, a little girl stood alone, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her bright red jacket flapped in the slight breeze, matching her frightened eyes, a vivid contrast to the soft greens and browns of the park. A sense of recognition washed over Lydia. This wasn't just another child lost. This was another opportunity to witness the power of grace. "Where's your mommy?" Lydia knelt to the girl's level, softening her voice. "Can you tell me her name?" "Hannah," the girl cried out, her small hands clenched into fists. "I can't find Hannah." "Okay, we'll help you," Lydia assured her, glancing at Alex, who nodded, resolve shining in his eyes. With a quick glance around, they began asking the other parents if they had seen a woman matching the child's frantic description. Lydia felt the supportive energy building around them, the kind of unity born from shared concern. Each voice that joined theirs amplified the hope, drawing everyone together into a living tapestry of compassion. Just then, a soft voice piped in, an older man who had been standing quietly to the side. "I saw a mother over by the swings soothing a little boy." "Thank you," Lydia exclaimed. That could be her. With new purpose, they moved towards the swings, the little girl's hand grasped tightly in Lydia's. In that moment, their connection felt sacred, like hands intertwining in prayer as they pressed forward through the swell of support. As they reached the swings, Lydia's heart soared. There stood a woman with long hair, hunched over, whispering soothing words to a small boy nestled in her arms. Lydia could almost feel the energy of their bond. It radiated warmth. "Hannah!" the little girl shouted, breaking free from Lydia's grip. The woman looked up, startled, and then the recognition washed over her face like a rising tide, pulling her out of her haze of worry. "Emily!" she cried, dropping to her knees as the girl dashed into her embrace. Lydia watched, her heart swelling with a mixture of joy and tears. The same overwhelming emotions as before, but now sharpened and intensified by witnessing this reunion. As mother and daughter clung to each other, the park seemed to breathe anew. Laughter bubbled up around them, igniting a celebration among the parents who had gathered. Each voice brought with it a reminder of the community they had built here, a shared faith in action, vibrating with the truth that love binds them all. Lydia turned to Alex, a smile breaking across her face. "Did you feel that?" she whispered, barely able to contain her emotions. "It's powerful," he murmured back, his eyes glimmering with gratefulness. "Every time we connect, something shifts. It feels like we're just beginning to understand how deep this goes." A peaceful hush settled around them as breaths softened and hearts opened wider. Silently, they recognized that they were all part of a divine design, a network of hope and faith intricately woven together, each act of love resonating throughout their lives. With the cries of joy surrounding them, Lydia felt a profound sense of belonging. They were not just observers. They were each called to participate in the miracle that was unfolding. What lessons would this collective moment teach? What hidden truths would blossom in their souls? As the sun danced overhead, casting playful shadows among the leaves, Lydia marveled at the profound depth that faith could reveal in the simplest of moments. "Is there more to come?" she pondered aloud, glancing at her friend with sparkles of anticipation in her eyes. "Might there be more lost souls waiting for us?" Alex added, reflective in tone, eyes scanning the park as if searching for the next divine rendezvous. Just then a shout rang out, capturing their attention anew. A boy stood in the distance, his bike tipped over, looking frightened and alone. "God's plans unfold one step at a time," Lydia prayed, as both friends exchanged a knowing glance, ready to step into the next adventure. Without hesitation, Lydia and Alex dashed towards the boy, whose small frame trembled with uncertainty. The hum of laughter around them faded, replaced by the urgency of their mission. As they neared him, Lydia called out, her voice imbued with warmth, "Hey there. Are you okay?" The boy looked up, his eyes wide with fear. I fell," he stammered, his voice quivering. "I can't get my bike up. It's too heavy." Lydia knelt down, lowering herself to his eye level, feeling the weight of his distress. "It's okay. We're here to help you," she said reassuringly. "What's your name?" Alex asked, stepping closer. "Jake," the boy replied softly, his gaze flitting between his fallen bike and their kind faces. "Jake, let us lift it together," Lydia encouraged, her hands moving to grasp one side of the bike. Alex mirrored her movement on the other side, their unity evident as they prepared to hoist it upright. On the count of 3, Alex said, 1, 2, 3. Together, they lifted the bike, and it righted itself, the wheels spinning slightly as if celebrating the resurgence. Jake's face lit up, the darkness of fright being chased away by the light of relief. "Thank you," he exclaimed, a smile breaking through the clouds of worry. In that moment, Lydia witnessed something deeper than a simple act of kindness. It was the power of love translating into tangible hope. "Just like we helped you, you can help others too," Lydia encouraged gently, feeling a surge of inspiration ripple through her. "Think of it this way, when you lift someone else, you rise as well." Each act of kindness, she realized, was a thread woven into the larger tapestry of community, an intricate design that served the purpose of uplifting all. Jake nodded, his confidence blooming in that sacred space. "I want to help too," he declared, determination shining in his youthful eyes. The 3 of them stood in that moment, united as a small brigade against adversity. A wave of gratitude washed over Lydia as she thought about the ripples of their faith, how one act of compassion sparked another, igniting a fire of love that started to spread. Suddenly, they heard the rush of footsteps, and a woman approached, worry-lined face softening as she laid eyes on Jake. "There you are," she breathed, relief flooding her features. "I was so worried." "Mom, I'm okay. Look, I've got new friends," Jake exclaimed proudly, pointing at Lydia and Alex. The woman knelt down, enveloping her son in a warm embrace. Thank you," she said to Lydia and Alex, tears glistening at the corners of her eyes. "You've no idea how much this means to me." "I was frantic. It's what we're here for," Alex reassured her, feeling the shared burden of her worry lift as she pulled Jake closer. Lydia admired the scene before her, the way love worked in circles, reaching out, connecting lives and healing hearts. She could see how each child's face glimmered with newfound joy, each parent enveloped in gratitude. Then, she felt it, an inner stirring, a calling to keep sharing that love. What else does God have in plans? She wondered, excitement building within her. Just as she pondered, the sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden hue over the park. It illuminated the faces of all around them, reflecting warmth, a promise of hope. With a fresh wave of energy coursing through her, Lydia turned to Alex. "What if there are more who need that extra push today?" Alex smiled knowingly, their hearts already preparing for the next step. "Isensaitetu." As the laughter floated through the park, they suddenly caught sight of another child lingering at the edge of the playground, alone and lost in thought. "Ready for another adventure?" Lydia whispered, heart racing with anticipation of what was to come, as they set off to offer hope once more. As they approached the child at the edge of the playground, Lydia's heart danced with an expectant joy. She could feel the warmth of God's presence surrounding them, urging her onward. The child sat on the swing, eyes filled with a distant sadness that pulled at Lydia's compassionate spirit. "Hey there," Lydia called gently, her tone soft as a spring breeze. "What's your name?" The girl looked up, surprise momentarily flickering across her face. "Emily," she replied quietly, her voice barely cutting through the laughter and chatter around them. "Emily, why are you sitting here all alone?" Alex inquired, taking a step closer. He sensed the heaviness in the air, the kind of weight only a heart burdened with unshared worries could bear. "I don't know how to play with the others," Emily said, her shoulders drooping like wilting petals. "They don't want to play with me." Lydia's heart ached for her. "Sometimes it can be really hard to find our place," she said softly. "But you know what? We can help you." Alex nodded enthusiastically. "Absolutely. We can all play together. How about we turn that swing into a roller coaster?" Emily blinked in surprise, a hint of curiosity sparking in her eyes. "A roller coaster? Sure," Lydia chimed in. "All you need is a little imagination and the willingness to jump in. I promise it will be fun." Emily hesitated, but something in her brightened. "Okay," she said slowly. Getting her to stand was the first victory. They gathered around her, and with Lydia's encouragement, they began to create an imaginary roller coaster. They leaned into it, making thrilling noises and gestures. Laughter filled the air, weaving into the melodic sounds of the park as they spun their story. Bit by bit, as they propelled their adventure through imagination, Emily's laughter mingled with theirs. Lydia couldn't help but rejoice at the transformation unfolding before her eyes. She saw the shadows of loneliness beginning to fade like mist in the morning sun. "You see, Emily?" Lydia said, her heart buoyed by the joy surrounding them. "When we come together we create magic." Just like that. Emily's face glowed, and for a moment, Lydia caught a glimpse of heaven's light reflected in the girl's smile. It was infectious, capturing the energy of everyone nearby, pulling even more children toward their joyous scene. "We're a team now," shouted Alex, spreading his arms wide to gather everyone into the fun. And they were a vibrant tapestry woven from the threads of shared delight, each laugh a reminder of the beauty of connection. Lydia marveled at how, in that simple act of outreach, they transformed a lonely moment into a glorious celebration of community and love. Just then, a little boy wandered over, curiosity etched upon his face. He watched the laughter from a distance, unsure of how to join. Lydia caught his eye and smiled warmly. "Come join us," she called. "We need someone brave to help us with the twists and turns." The boy hesitated but then stepped forward, joining the joyous circle that had formed around Emily. As the laughter grew louder, Lydia felt a whisper in her heart, a reminder that every child, every heart sought belonging. They craved connection, and together they could fill those empty spaces with joy and laughter. What will happen next? She wondered, thrill tingling down her spine, sensing the divine orchestration of these moments weaving together something even greater. The park was alive with possibility, and Lydia felt a stirring within her, a calling to guide even more as God's love permeated through their innocent play. "Where to next?" Alex asked, his eyes sparkling with excitement as they prepared for yet another journey, another opportunity to foster hope where it was needed most. Lydia took a deep breath, knowing the adventure ahead was still shrouded in mystery. "Let us follow that spark," she replied, pointing toward a group of children at the other end of the park, their laughter ringing clear like a bell. And as they moved forward, guided by faith and a heart and spirit, Lydia couldn't shake the feeling that something beautiful and transformative lay just ahead, waiting for them to embrace. As dawn broke, Lydia and Alex stood hand in hand at that familiar park where so many journeys had begun. The serenity of the morning light spilled over them, illuminating the laughter of children and the warmth of shared humanity. Each sunbeam felt like a divine affirmation, a confirmation of their mission together. Emily, the little girl they had lifted from loneliness, was now thriving in the company of newfound friends. Her laughter rang out like a melody, and Lydia marveled at the transformation that had unfolded from a simple act of kindness. Each moment spent in service ignited a flame within her heart, revealing a path that felt divinely orchestrated. They had become beacons of hope, inspired by those miraculous lessons shared by their pastor. It wasn't merely about being witnesses, they were now full participants in God's tapestry of grace, each thread woven tighter by love. But as feel-good stories often go, Lydia sensed a higher calling awaited them. Challenges still loomed, testing the resilience of their collective faith. Just then, the sharp wail of a distant siren pierced the peaceful backdrop. Lydia's heart tightened. The shadow of concern flickered across Alex's face. "What does that mean?" he asked, sensing the shift in her demeanor. "I don't know yet, but let us remain vigilant," Lydia replied, watching as the sound faded into the distance. Their community had grown strong, bound by shared struggles and the strength forged in their challenges. They had learned to detach from fear and walk in steadfast faith. But in that moment it dawned on her. Their growth was an invitation to not just witness suffering but to actively respond to it. "Let us check on the families," Lydia said, her voice steady. She felt the pull towards the siren, a call for action resonating deep within her soul. The two made their way through the park, their steps deliberate. As they approached the crowd gathering around a bright yellow ambulance parked at the entrance, Lydia felt a keen sense of urgency. They arrived just as a mother, tears streaming down her face, emerged from the throng. She was frantically searching for her boy, a little spark of light named Aaron. "My boy. He's in there," she cried out, pointing at the ambulance. Instinct kicked in. Without hesitation, Lydia's heart raced with purpose. "What does he look like?" she asked urgently. "Brown hair, blue jacket." "He was playing hide and seek," the mother gasped, panic threading her voice. "Okay," Alex assured the mother, "we'll help you." Lydia felt the electric hum of divine intervention in the air. igniting faith in each heart present. She and Alex began to gather people, forming a search party. There was no hesitance. Every fear was transformed into unwavering determination. They spread out, calling out Aaron's name, turning over every stone, searching every hideout in the park. Minutes felt like hours as every heartbeat pounded in sync with the urgency of love. Lydia felt the presence of God surrounding them as they combed through the playground, navigating under swings and behind trees. The whispers of the gathered family created a pool of hope in the air. Just when despair threatened to creep in, a small voice broke through. "Mommy!" A figure darted from around a tree, eyes wide and triumphant. "Yes, there!" Lydia shouted, pointing with intensity. The mother turned, her expression morphing from worry to elation. "Aaron!" She cried joyfully, rushing forward to embrace her son. Tears flowed freely as the little boy explained how he had been hiding from his friends for just one more moment of fun. Lydia watched, heart swelling, witnessing love conquering fear yet again, strengthening their community bond and igniting a fire for compassion. This was the manifestation of God's work reflected through each individual as the sun began its ascent, casting golden rays across the park. Lydia felt a sense of clarity wash over her. They had crossed paths with divine purpose and woven love into every moment of transformation. Alex looked over, sensing the release of intertwined tension. He began, "It's in these moments that we find our calling. Each act of service draws us closer to God's heart." "Yes," she replied, filled with gratitude. "And no matter the trials we face, we are prepared." Each lesson, the emotional detachment, humility, community, they guide us to share hope in action. Standing hand in hand, they collectively breathed in the fresh dawning day, knowing what was next lay beyond the horizon. "Together we'll embrace whatever comes," Lydia vowed, a surge of divine strength pouring into her soul. And so, as the park brimmed with renewed laughter and joy, they prepared for the next chapter. With faith as their compass, they sought divine pathways, eager to fill those empty places with the light of love and community. As they walked away, hand in hand, Lydia turned back one last time, feeling the quiet buzz of hope igniting the air around them. "This is our mission," she whispered, invoking the spirit of love that had been ignited within them and through them. To be God's hands and feet no matter the challenges ahead. The bond of their community stretched wider, fueled by faith and love, ready to transform the world, one miraculous moment at a time. Now is the time to take action. You need to subscribe immediately to our channel to not miss these exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to keep feeding the algorithm and spreading the love. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this ending. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this divine manifestation. True servants of God understand the importance of these actions. Let us shine His light together.